Hi folks, welcome to your latest planning outlook that's updated on Tuesday the 6th of April. It's a rather wintry pattern that we've got across the country at the moment, and these chilly northerly airflows will be common over the next week to 10 days, so the mountains typically staying sub-zero over many days ahead. A temporary lift of temperatures just in the next day or so, but overall it's the cold outlook and there'll be some further hail and snow showers in the forecast. We'll start off with a look at the freezing level chart, this first thing on Wednesday morning, and shows a pretty widespread frost, just what you want to see on an April morning, especially if you've got any tender plants, but it's quite typical to get a hard frost at this time of the year. It's a cold one though, it's a cold day ahead across the mountains again. The temperature and freezing level will lift a little bit through the course of the day, getting to as high as 700 or 800 metres across England and Wales, something a bit nearer to 500 to 700 metres across Scotland, coldest in the north. We are gradually seeing a front coming in from the west, a fairly weak one, but nevertheless will just allow temperatures to then rise as we go into the night. It may well be initially an early frost once again as temperatures come down on Wednesday evening, but then just notice as we head towards dawn on Thursday, these values have just come upwards as milder air comes in from the west on a strong westerly wind. Now the freezing level for Thursday is around 800 to 1,000 metres, so we're still likely to see some snow falling as a weather system comes through, particularly across Scotland. We'll show you the charts in a moment, but it will be rain at lower levels. It's a different sort of day compared to what we've had to start this week. But we do go back to square one at the end of the week, because as the cold front comes southwards later on Thursday, those temperatures and freezing levels start to drop again across northern Scotland, and that colder air from the north will once again become widespread across Britain as we head towards Friday. Overnight then, into the early hours of Friday morning, those temperatures just fall ever more as we go southwards across Britain. That cold front by the middle of the day is stuck somewhere across central England and Wales. A bit of uncertainty exactly where it sort of comes to rest, but the northern half of Britain is under a cold air mass. Across Scotland we're back to more or less where we've been to start the week, with freezing levels down to the lowest slopes in the morning, lifting to around 500 or 600 metres in the afternoon, locally maybe a bit higher in the central Highlands. Just to take the story on into the weekend, once again we're back into a situation of frost overnight, and first thing in the morning in the valleys and the glens, some very low overnight temperatures possible again, and then a gradual lift of freezing level to between around 500 to 800 metres, say, in the afternoon. Typical diurnal variations across the mountains that you'll see in a cold springtime pattern. We will just get those daytime rises of freezing level that you maybe wouldn't see in the depths of winter. Here's the charts then for your next few days. For Wednesday, it's a little bit more straightforward than it looked at one point, in that the next warm front that's drifting in off the Atlantic is rather reluctant to come in, so for many places a decent day as a ridge of high pressure is just around. There will still be a few residual snow or hail showers in the picture for a time, most of those northern Scotland, a few draped around western coasts elsewhere, but it's largely a clear day, a decent amount of sunshine, bit of cloud building up through the course of the day. But we're just losing some of the instability that's been around today, Tuesday, so less scope for showers to build, so just mostly very well scattered things through the afternoon. As the front comes in then from the west, that is what brings that lift of temperature into the night. Winds will strengthen as well, and it's an area of low pressure that's formed and moving eastwards to the north of Britain as we go into Thursday. Eventually a cold front coming down from the northwest will lower those temperatures as we saw. It's a windy day then, the risk of gales pretty widely across the hills, stormy conditions across the highest tops in the Highlands, and that pretty much the story all the way through the day. Some constant falls of rain lower down across the west and northwest Highlands, snow across higher terrain, maybe that rain just lifting up to around 700-800 metres for a time and then coming down as those temperatures drop, the snow level coming down across northern Scotland later on. Areas of mostly light patchy rain coming into some western hills of England and Wales, with some low cloud running in off the Irish Sea here. Drier, brighter conditions toward the eastern side of any of the hill groups. Temperatures then are a bit warmer than they were, still only around freezing point though, so even on the highest tops in England and Wales, still a chance for some snow flurries. Main uncertainty for Friday, as mentioned, is just where that cold front will lie. It's expected to be somewhere across the middle of Wales. It may be reluctant even to clear the South Pennines for a part of the day, although brighter conditions should spread from the north behind this front. A legacy of some rain and sleet and snow on the very highest tops in Wales. Behind that, across northern England, a clearer picture, but watch for 1 or 2 clusters of showers to develop and then move around slowly, particularly afternoon into early evening across Pennine areas. For Scotland, it's what we've been familiar with earlier in the week, some snow and some hail showers coming down from the north across more northern regions, brighter, only scattered showers across more central and southern parts of the Highlands. It's back to a rather cold day, though not quite as windy as earlier in the week. Looks a little bit messy on the chart into the weekend. High pressure is parked out toward the west of us. We're under a cold northerly air stream, not quite as purely Arctic as it was at the start of this week, but it's cold nevertheless. The mountains sub-zero, but a daytime rising of temperature as mentioned. And it's a message of wintry April showers, those most extensive around coastal fringes first thing in the morning, whilst inland starts off with some sunshine and clear skies, and then the cloud bubbles up through the course of the morning, middle of the day, and showers form fairly widely onwards into the afternoon. Those with hail or snow to the lowest levels, and the odd heavy one could just have a rumble of thunder mixed in. At this stage it doesn't look particularly windy, but just watch out for that chill factor again. It will be a distinctly cold feel across the mountains, especially gusty when any showers do form. Again, a little bit messy into Sunday, the detail open to some question. Basically it stays a rather chilly pattern. There'll be a scattering of showers forming, pressure is fairly high, but there's just enough thermaling and instability likely to set a few off most widely again into the afternoon, and with that risk of some hail and some snow to the lowest slopes. Also a decent amount of sunshine and the cloud bases well up away from the showers. Not easy to get the detail onwards into next week. There's a bit of variation between some of the forecast models at this stage, and we do sort of find ourselves in a bit of no man's land across the British Isles by next week. This is the forecast pressure anomaly, where we've got the greener colours, it's lower than average pressure, and the redder colours higher than average pressure, and we're rather stuck in the middle. I suspect it's still a chilly northerly type of pattern that is around at least early in the week. Some indications start to develop an area of low pressure over the mid-Atlantic, and if that does just drift towards us, we might start to import milder conditions from the southwest with time. So maybe a bit of a transition period through next week between weather patterns. It could just be there's several days of reasonably quiet weather where there's a few scattered showers build up through the day, there's overnight frost, there's a daytime lift of temperature, but the higher mountains still stay close to freezing point much of the time. So gradual changes, maybe a spell of quieter conditions, but just the risk of some areas of low pressure starting to form and unsettle things a bit as time goes on. We'll keep you right up to date here at MWIS, your local forecasts updated every day on our website. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.